Hi, Vincent here, and in today's video, we're taking a deeper look at what is a savings rate. And if that sounds good to you, make sure you smash that subscribe button to always get the latest and greatest from the Simple Dollar. And remember, you can always find this content and then loads more by visiting thesimpledollar.com. First, let's actually define what a savings rate is. And by definition, a savings rate is the amount of money, typically expressed in a percent or ratio, deducted from your disposable income in order to set aside for retirement or for a nest egg. In other words, your savings rate is how much money you decide to set aside for your long-term goals, such as retirement, in a given year, divided by the total amount of disposable income for that given year. The first thing to notice is that your savings rate only cares about long-term financial goals. It doesn't really take into account any short-term financial goals, such as how much cash money you're going to save for your emergency fund or how much you're going to put as down payment for your car loans. Instead, your savings rate takes into account your long-term financial goals, such as the money you're setting aside for retirement in your 401k or your Roth IRA accounts or other types of tax qualified accounts. Your taxable brokerage accounts may also count if you are investing for the long term. By definition, savings rate would point to the total disposable income for a person as the baseline. But really, what defines total disposable income? Many people believe your disposable income is whatever is left over after you pay your bills, but the fundamental question is which bills are essential? For the calculation that we're going to be doing, the only essential bill is going to be your taxes. So what you want to do is take your annual salary and subtract any taxes that you'll pay, and this comes up with your disposable income. You don't need to include sales tax in this calculation, only income and property tax, which is why it might be helpful to go off with your net income on your income taxes to start off with your savings rate. So let's say your annual salary is $60,000 a year. However, you pay $10,000 in property and income tax. So what your disposable income baseline is going to be is $60,000 minus $10,000 equals $50,000 a year. Now let's say you contribute $5,000 to your 401k and another $5,000 to your Roth IRA. What this means is that your long-term savings is going to be $5,000 plus $5,000 equals $10,000. So now to figure out what your savings rate is, you want to take into account your long-term savings divided by the total disposable income that you have and then multiply that by 100. So in this case, you have $10,000 divided by $50,000, which gives you 0.2. Now with this 0.2, you want to multiply by 100, which gives you a 20%, and your savings rate is 20%. And before I get into what value does this savings rate actually have, remember to smash that like button, and remember, you can always find this content and loads more by visiting thesimpledollar.com. The first value is that it gives you a nice comparison baseline point, meaning that if you have a savings rate for last year and you have another savings rate for this year, you can compare the two numbers and see how you are performing with your financial decisions. Are you saving a lot more or are you saving a lot less now? The second value is that increasing your savings rate becomes a nice financial goal that is wholly dependent on your personal actions. A higher savings rate might mean that you might have a more comfortable time in the future when you retire, so it's always a good financial goal to actually tuck more money away. So let's say last year you had a savings rate of about 5%. This year, you might want to strive for raising it to 10% or even 15%. Third is a higher savings rate means that you have a lower cost of living when you approach retirement. For example, if we look back into our previous scenario, our person had a disposable income of $50,000. However, our person had a savings rate of 20%, which means that they were comfortably living off of $40,000 a year. So what happens when we increase the savings rate from 20% all the way to 25%? Instead of living comfortably on $40,000, now our person is living comfortably on $37,500. This means that the total amount the person needs to retire has gone down while their savings rate has gone up. If you only need $40,000 to live comfortably and you're tucking away $10,000 every single year into your savings with an average total return of 7% in the stock market, plus a fairly conservative 4% withdrawal rate, that means you only need $1 million tucked away in a bank or 31 years to make it. However, instead, if you only need $37,500 to live comfortably, and you're increasing your savings rate to $12,500, you only need to save about 26 years in order to make it there. And that's the power of decreasing your spending. Bumping up your savings rate increases in both ways. One is that it increases the amount of money you save, but also two, it decreases the amount that you actually spend, which would put you in a much better shape when it comes to retirement. In terms of actually calculating your own savings rate, it's actually really easy. The first step is to take out the taxes that you just filed and check out what your adjusted gross income is. Second is look into all your investments accounts and your retirement accounts and total what is the total amount of contributions you made to these accounts in that year. Third is divide your total contributions by your total adjusted income and multiply that amount by 100, and you simply just got your savings rate. So the question is, how do you increase your savings rate? Well, the easiest way to do that is actually start contributing or increase your contributions towards your retirement accounts. If your employer offers a 401k and you aren't contributing right now, what you want to do is actually start contributing. And if you are already contributing, you want to increase the amount you actually contribute up to the employer's match. And if your employer doesn't offer a retirement plan, what you want to do is open a Roth IRA and start contributing money towards that every single week or every single month. And if this seems financially impossible, then you might have to make some lifestyle tweaks. For example, if you made a salary of $50,000 every single year and you increase your savings by only $40 every single month, this will boost your savings rate by 1%. So at its core, your savings rate is essentially how much money you're saving compared to the after-tax dollars that you're making. And I'm sure we can all agree, if you increase your savings rate, that'll speed up your retirement process. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And remember, if you want more videos on money and personal finance from the Simple Dollar, remember to smash that subscribe button. And you can always find this content and loads more by visiting thesimpledollar.com.